Hey everybody, it's Mike Zimmer from Zimco Entertainment and Zimco Sports. Got a quick video I wanted to make this weekend after taking in some Major League Baseball, both on TV and in person. And get you ready as we head into the fall. We are about a month away from the start of the college football season. Hard to believe it's almost here. Zim and the Husky Fella will be returning. I hope. I know I'll be back doing some podcasting for that for sure, but a couple of things irked me this past weekend um, that popped up with Major League Baseball. And I'm always complaining about baseball. And by this time next year, I'm going to really be missing baseball or I won't care at all because I don't think we're going to have a season next year. But that they're kind of keeping that quiet. Thankfully, that's it's actually a good thing that they're keeping their labor problems quite down low. But they don't get something achieved by this fall going into December, you might see the whole season wiped out next year. I really do believe that, but that's another conversation. Baseball season's been fun this year. It's really been an interesting go. My two teams are pretty good. Tampa Bay and both the Rays and the Braves are doing well. It's a disappointing season for the Redlegs, for all my folks up in Ohio, and the Indians. Well, thank God they're in a poor division. They're just around 500, but leading the way or close to the division lead. The White Sox, out of nowhere, are about halfway decent this year. Anyway, I digress. So, Friday night, I'm watching, and of course, they're getting ready for the Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown, which, I mean, there wasn't a lot of pomp and circumstance about it. And you'd think for Major League Baseball, they might have wanted to make that a bigger thing. I mean, it's one of your marquee marketable events. If you're a true baseball fan, getting to Cooperstown at least once is on your bucket list. But maybe, with your TV deal, you could say, hey, NBC, Peacock, you put us on uh, ceremony. I mean, you got three guys going in. The three guys going in, I'm Hall of Very Good. Now, I was a big Braves fan. I am a big Braves fan. I was a big Andrew Jones opponent, but I would put him in the class of Hall of Pretty Good. I think if you're letting a handful of other guys in, you have to let Andrew Jones in. And it was too long for him to wait to get in. Part of that, the team in the 90s, I mean, he hit a couple home runs in the World Series back in 1996 as a teenager. He's 19. And after a couple years in the league, established himself as one of the marquee defensive players in the league. His numbers were always pretty good in an era where is it still the steroid era? I mean, it kind of is. But yeah, definitely was the steroid era. I'm not accusing him of that, but I'm saying his numbers pretty good versus that. I mean, at a time where the numbers were inflated. Jeff Kent goes in, really? Now, I didn't realize this until I it was, looking in. Why him? Well, he does have the most home runs all time for a second baseman, which is hard to believe. At 455, something like that, or 355 of his 377, something like that, most for a second baseman. Jeff Kent was a jerk. He didn't like the media. He didn't like his teammates. His teammates didn't like him. He bounced around. He was very good statistically, though, and that was the part that I don't think anybody understood. And it comes back to, I guess he had some kind of social anxiety disorder, whatever it was, or he was just a prick, one of the two. He cried at his induction ceremony about, the game and this and that and the other. And I don't know, good for Jeff Kent, but I don't know. Again, Hall of Very Good. Carlos Beltran, most home runs Puerto Rican player, I do believe. And then he also had one of the better records for a switch hitter all time, as far as batting average, home runs, all that good stuff. But again, I kind of consider him a Hall of Very Good. And I mean, I had to look up his numbers. I was like, damn, he had a consistent run, but he did play for 20 years. He got to 400 and he didn't get to 500. Um, he had a good run, a Hall of Very Good. But if you're going to put those guys in, why are you putting Dale Murphy in? Dale Murphy, one of the most dominant players of his time, two-time league MVP. He's around that 500 home run threshold. The man in the Hall of Fame. Plus, he's a Hall of Fame person. You've also got a couple of guys that they're going to stand on, not put in, and it's stupid at this point in time. I talked about the steroid era. Roger Clemens not being in the Hall of Fame is stupid. Same thing for the other shitheads from that era. It's stupid not to have them, but I digress. So the other point I wanted to talk about is, so we're watching games Friday night, and I love baseball merch. I love jerseys and hats and all the crap that goes with it. A handful of weeks back, New Era said, got these Hall of Fame hats. They're coming out. Order yours. And I haven't seen a green Tampa Bay hat from the era where they wore green. That is the Hall of Fame hat they had available. So I ordered it. It's still not here. It hasn't arrived. The it's I went to a Rays game. I wanted to wear it this weekend. They didn't have it, and they didn't have it in the gift shop. They either sold out or they didn't have them there either. And here's the other thing. So we're watching the games Friday, and I noticed they have this green hat on, and they were wearing it with their Devil Rays throwbacks. They didn't wear that hat with that throwback. That was a different hat. It was a different time. Why the hell are you having that green hat with their kind of rainbowy, whatever, Devil Rays throwbacks? Why don't you have the green throwbacks? It's a sharp look, really is. They've never brought that look back. Now they sucked when they wore it, but they've never brought that. Why wouldn't you have that? It's like they kind of half-assed it. Something. Well, that's weird. So watching the Braves. The Braves have on their regular road uniforms, the gray classics that they wear on the road, most of the time. They had the '80s era navy blue hat, not navy blue, royal blue. So they had the normal navy blue piping royal blue hat. I'm like, all right, I'm niggling. It's a little detail. Some of the other teams' hats were atrocious. Detroit has a classic Tiger D, the old English D. They had this big, goofy, stupid logo. Hey, why are you doing that? The worst, though, was the San Diego Padres, who have re-embraced over the last, I don't know how many seasons now, brown. They're back to brown and yellow. They wear they wear the brown and gold. It's sharp. I love it. Some people think it's ugly. They bring back the Tony Gwynn era navy blue and orange hat for that, and it contrasts in the worst way. And I'm like, what are you doing? There's nobody paying attention to these little details. It's a mild detail, but for a baseball fan, for a guy that likes hats and jerseys and all the pomp and circumstance that goes along with baseball, it was asinine. Somebody should get fired. But there's some millennial somewhere that never thought about it. They don't care. The game of baseball is run by people that don't care. Don't even like baseball. Anyway, I digress. We did go up to the Guardians. I hate calling them the Guardians. They'll always be the Indians for me. But Cleveland and Tampa. It's my first time back in Tropicana Field this season for just the circumstances of being. I've seen a couple of Rays games in Miami, but I haven't been up until this weekend able to get up to see the Rays in St. Pete. Back in the dome where the went a couple times to Steinbrenner last year, which was fun. I don't want to take anything away from the fact that I thought that was a fun experience. I'm hoping that also launches them to be able to stay there in Tampa eventually. More on that in just a minute. But being back in the dome, man, it was nice because it was hot, about 100 degrees in the shade on Saturday. And going up to the Trop though, they've slapped some new paint on it. They cleaned it up. It is what it is. You can put lipstick on a pig; it's still a pig. I like I like I like bacon. How's that? It's still a great place. They always tend to piss me off though. The Rays always do something that makes no sense. So in an era where beer sales have declined, we got to look at all the weight loss drugs. We got to look at the younger generation isn't drinking as much. Keep those things in mind. Now they do have a lot more to offer. They have seltzers, they have cider, they have all this stuff. You could not get a beer less than a 24 ouncer. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I would assume they're selling less. In fact, the beer vendors going up and down, the cart is heavier. They were selling less beer. I think it's because a 24-ounce beer. Now, if this was an outdoor venue, if this was another stadium that was outside, that beer would be warm halfway through. You're forced to buy a new one. Now, I could see greedy teams doing that. But in general, it's a lot of, I love to drink beer. 24-ounce can of beer, even in the dome, when it was mildly getting warm by the end of it. I went up and got a draft midway through the game because it was a smaller size. I mean, now they did have that at Coppertail. I just don't get it. It's little things like that. The other thing is there's another program that the Rays and Major League Baseball have. We always go to Ferg's or the local eateries before the game there in St. Pete, come across the road, and there's an entrance as you go down the hill that goes in through the sports bar. It's always been a great place to go in. It kind of alleviates the pressure on the other gates. You go in that way, there's beer and there's food and all this stuff there. Well, they had some new program called MLB Go where you could not go. We were not allowed to go. No one was allowed to go in there. Nobody knew what it was. And you asked the people, and they were like, "Do you have the Go Pass?" We're like, "What's the Go Pass?" And they're like, "You can't come in here." What the hell's the MLB Go? I've never heard of it. I watch hundreds of baseball games a year. I mean, hundreds, and no clue what this is. There was nothing about it on the ticket master, or maybe I missed it. I don't know. It's dumb. We weren't allowed to go there. MLB Go, just dumb. Anyhow, what else did I want to poop on baseball about? It's kind of it for now. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting that Major League Baseball just again, who's running this crap fest? I mean, it really boggles the mind to me to think that I don't know. But usually in the summer year, my friends and I are on a summer baseball trip. We didn't really make one this year, and it's sad. Went up to see a couple games in Atlanta on my own with a girlfriend, and also went to Miami to see some games with a good friend of mine. And that's the only time that we've been. We went to Miami twice, which I don't need to go back to Miami for years now. After those three games that I saw there, two on one episode, one on the other. But anyway, we were not going on a trip. I can track my years that the guys baseball trip that we went through. Usually this time, it's usually we went after the 4th of July. It's usually in the mid to later part of July. We've gotten to see a lot of baseball games, a lot of new stadiums. We didn't go on a trip this year as a group, and it doesn't look like we're going to make it. A couple of us are going to go up to Pittsburgh here in September. Booked my trip today, in fact, to see PNC, and hopefully the Pirates are still in it at that point in time. But I'm missing my trip, missing seeing all the guys and seeing new ballparks and this and that and the other. So yeah, I the only new ballpark that will have been seen this year for me is Sacramento. I went there on my own in May, which was a lot of fun. Have some videos and some great stuff about that I was told I would get some help on putting together and never did. I'm gonna try to put them together on my own. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, we're going to go to Pittsburgh in the first over Labor Day weekend. Got that coming up. Also got another trip up to see the Rays at the Trop in August. Looking forward to that. Couple games over my birthday weekend. But man, I'll tell you, this might be it. This might be the end of baseball. honestly. Switch gears. College football, fast approaching. Hard to believe. We're a month away from week zero. Um, there's a handful of games that week zero, and then of course the bulk of the regular season gets going over Labor Day weekend. Looking forward to making a trip, as we mentioned, to Pittsburgh. Well, we're going to take in the Pitt Panthers and Miami of Ohio that first weekend in college football. Why? Well, we're going to go up there and see some Pirates games. Pitt is home that weekend as well, so that's where we will be. Um, Not our first choice. We were looking at maybe going to Morgantown, taking in West Virginia, playing Coastal Carolina. It's a lot more expensive than going to Pitt because nobody gives a crap about Pitt Panther baseball or football. And it's right there. We won't have to travel as far. That's for sure. But that should be interesting. I know that I will be rooting against Pitt as a Mac apologist, even though it is Miami. Miami Redskins. They'll always be the Redskins to me. They're the Red Hawks. I know that. I'll be rooting for Maction that day. Take the points. That's all I can say. We'll be back with Zim and the Husky Fella, the podcast for college football and everything else coming back up. That'll be probably up in the next week or two. Looking forward to getting back on the horse with that. And yeah, so there's your Zimco Sports update, everybody. Hopefully, you had a wonderful weekend and you got a great week ahead planned. And we'll see you out at one of our fantastic Zimco entertainment venues. We'd love to see you for trivia. And of course, stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more sports. We'll see you on the next one.